Boom.
No.
Lecture number 8.0.
Yes. Now to the big table R.
9 different types of functional groups.
I don't know if we can do 9 functional groups in 10 minutes.
We're going to try, but there might be 8.5 coming up after this.
So what is a functional group?
Simply, it is a part of a molecule that is not carbon or hydrogen.
Yes.
It gives function. Okay, it's a functional group. It is hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen,
Sure.
chlorine, bromine.
Right. Notice that one didn't come up there in words, so you're writing that down, what we just said.
So a functional group is, again, a part of a molecule that makes it not a hydrocarbon,
Correct.
but it is a nonmetal that creates a function and a part of a molecule.
You can see that it says functional group, and as you look down, there's some deviation of carbons and hydrogens in there.
Right.
Something special.
There's always carbon and hydrogen, but is it nitrogen and oxygen? How are they connected? All that other kind of stuff.
So we're going to go right in order. First
all
one
of it.
is
Halides.
Halides.
So anytime you have a halogen from group 17 showing up in a part of a organic molecule, it makes that molecule a halide.
correct. Now, I don't want you to just draw this picture quite yet. I want you to talk our way through it, because what we know is propane. Prop, 3 carbons, ane, single bonded.
Yep.
And then I see the deviation in the name is this 2-chloro. And chloro, I got to find chloro. And I'm just going to look up on table R until I find, there's
There
chloro.
it is. Chloro means that there's a Cl hanging off of the chain, where the 2 tells us we're at the second carbon. So, bink,
There it is.
that's what the true molecule is for chloropropane. The second carbon has a chlorine hanging on it, and there's
Sure.
a 3-carbon chain.
1 chloropropane, it would be on the first carbon, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The next one we're going to name, or we're going to draw. I got to name this one from the
We'll do that
picture
last.
there.
We're going to
We'll
draw
do
and
that
then we'll name.
double draw.
Okay. So this one is mad complicated.
2,2,3 trichlorobutane. Butane,
4 carbons. So we're going to start with that. Don't draw this yet.
you got to put chlorines in there
But I just
somewhere.
want to show you that it deviates from the normal butane, right?
Trichloro means there's just 3 chlorines.
And I would do the same thing I just did for you, but I just showed you a chloro last time on,
Right,
on
so,
table
right.
R. So to speed things up, I got 3 chlorines, 1 on the second carbon, another 1 on the second carbon, and 1 on the third carbon. That's 2,2,3 trichlorobutane.
Now this next one, this last one is going to be a little bit tough.
Yep.
Because we've got fluorine.
Yep. So I see 3 carbons, 1, 2, 3. And either way you do that, there's still going to be 3. So that is 3 is prop, right?
Yep.
So that's propane. And on the second carbon, I'm going to have a fluorine. And on the second carbon, I also have a methyl. So it's 2-methyl, 2-fluoro-butane.
Methylpropane.
Propane. Prop. Beautiful.
2-methyl, 2-fluoropropane. The second carbon in the chain has both a methyl group and a fluorine hanging off of it. The longest chain is 3 carbons.
Real quick, before we move on, can you just put a circle around that the methyl group real quick for me?
Yeah.
Just so we can see it in case. Yep, there we go. There we go. Now I can see that that's a methyl side chain. Beautiful. And we're moving on. That is how we do all of the halides. Fluorine becomes fluoro, chlorine becomes chloro, bromine becomes bromo, the tough
iodine,
one,
iodo.
it becomes iodo. And that's all right there for you, hidden in the
Reference
table
table.
Okay.
Alcohols.
Alcohols. All right, I see. Propanol. Prop, I know, is 3 carbons. And from propane, right, is single bonded, but there is an OL. That's a deviation. So we got to find on this table R OL somewhere. And on the right-hand side, where do I see anything ending in OL? Right on the right-hand side. I'm looking at all those names. There we go. So
It's
it doesn't
hidden.
It is hidden. So notice he circled or he underlined alcohol first. You can get lucky, but the easiest way or the most proficient way is to find it in the actual naming example. Who ends in OL? An alcohol. Look at my functional group. My functional group for an alcohol is an OH. So 1 propanol, I have to put an OH on the first carbon.
Right. You
So,
replace
bam.
hydrogen with an OH.
Done. And
So-
I could have gone on either side. The way that is, it's 3, but if we number it the other way, it'll be 1.
1, 2, 3.
That's 1, 2, 3. That is 1 propanol.
Exactly.
Good. Okay. So on this
Cool.
next example, we have to name this one. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. Okay, and I see. Yep, see what he's doing? He's trying to figure out this numbering system, but still 4 carbons is bute. Single bonded is ane. It should be butane, but it's butanol. I take off the E, add an O out for that alcohol. Then I got to tell you where the alcohol is. It's on the second carbon.
Or is it the third?
It's the second.
Because we go with the lowest number.
There you go. So it's 2-butanol. Beautiful. We are
No,
doing
not
good.
beautiful, butanol.
You're right. Oh, you're right.
2-butanol.
I'm just happy that we're moving on.
It's
to the
not
third
too
one.
beautiful, it's 2-butanol.
I'm just happy we're moving on to ethers.
Ethers.
Ethers. So here, just to say right off the bat, there's esters and there's ethers. We can't get them confused. And we didn't talk about all this writing business. You do need to read what those are. We're trying to get you through the examples of how we use these real fast, okay? So I see methyl ethyl ether. Looking on this table R, under the names on the right-hand side, who ends in ether? And there it is. That's what I'm actually looking for first. And so that means my functional group is that O. And the way the naming works, there's my functional group. On one side, I'm going to have a methyl, and on one side, I'm going to have an ethyl. And if I flip that thing around, it doesn't matter.
There's no long hydrocarbon chain to name as a backbone because everything is technically a branch in an ether.
Correct. You can name it ethyl methyl ether, and we're going to give you credit for that. Oh, so we're going to, let's name it first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's an ether. And on either side, I have a ethyl. So this is a diethyl ether. 2 ethyls is di. So diethyl ether, good. And then we got to do the butyl propyl ether. And so I see that I can do this.
Oh, it's automatic?
Oh, it's automatic.
Sweet!
Yeah. Ether tells me it's an O in the chain. I need a butyl on one side, which is 4, and a propyl on the other side, which is 3. And it's that whole business right there. That is a butyl propyl ether. Good?
Yeah.
Questions?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Let's
Again,
move on.
Working
Number
with
4.
these in our lab and our model kits,
Yep.
it's going to be the best way to learn.
Yes. Aldehydes. Here we go. Notice it's got a C with a double bonded O at the end of the hydrocarbon chain.
Well, that's referred to as a carbonyl group. So.
Carbonyl. So I would do this. Propanal ends in an AL. Which example ends in AL? And this is why we do that, because see, aldehyde doesn't end in an AL. So that wouldn't have helped me any. But I see propanal is an aldehyde with that functional group. So let's go ahead and put that functional group right in. Oh, wait, milks. Propanal. Prop, 3 carbons. AN, single bonded. AL tells me there is that weird functional group. And I'm going to put it right on the end there. This is propanal.
Mm-hmm. We don't need to put a number on aldehydes because they're always on the end. So they would always have the number 1 in front of them.
So it is, by convention, not needed. Okay? So we can see this. Let's circle that functional group real quick. We see the change. So on table R, that is telling me that it is finding that functional group, that it's an aldehyde. The name tells me that it ends in AL. So let's count up my carbons. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is pent. No? Pentanal?
Yeah.
Pent.
I just didn't number my carbons properly.
Because you got to number the carbon in the actual group. Right. And it's always going to be 1 by convention, so we don't have to bother telling you that it's 1 pentanal. AL. Pentanal.
That's it.
That's it.
I don't think we have enough time to get through
Me
ketones. Well, let's
neither.
give it a shot. We can get through ketones.
Try.
Carbonyl group, instead of at the end of the chain,
No,
it's going to be in the middle of the chain.
There you go.
And the number is going to tell us what carbon it's hanging off of.
Right. So the own, using table R, tells me there's a double bond on the second carbon, 2-pentanone.
Yep.
Good.
And the longest chain being 5 carbons. Now this next one, 3 carbons.
So it's 2 propanone. And it has to be 2 propanone. Can't be 1 propanone because then it would be an aldehyde.
Exactly. So
we didn't get through it.
wait for 8.5 coming up next.
Sorry.
Not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.